In this video, let us cover catalog link databases. Catalog link database is one of the offerings from Snowflake that helps to bring in and discover the Iceberg tables from an external Iceberg REST catalog. It is an automated table discovery process from external Iceberg REST catalogs. A catalog link database is a Snowflake DB connected to an external Iceberg REST catalog. Snowflake automatically syncs namespaces to schemas and remote tables that will map to an Iceberg tables in Snowflake. Supported for Iceberg REST catalogs only. Example, Snowflake Open Catalog, Glue Catalog, Unity Catalog, and Apache Polaris Catalog, and all of these catalogs that support REST API. How it works? Configure a catalog integration with credential vending. That means create a remote catalog integration in Snowflake. Create a catalog link databases. Snowflake immediately starts table discovery. Remote catalog namespaces appear as Snowflake name schemas. Tables appear as Iceberg tables. Use allowed namespaces, block namespaces to scope discovery. Create and drop schemas or tables through Snowflake, propagated to remote catalog. Automated refresh enabled by default on all discovered tables. Latency is up to 1 hour for 7,500 namespaces, 1 hour for 500,000 tables. What are the key limitations? Only Iceberg REST catalog supported, not object store or Delta. Cannot sync remote catalog access control, such as users and roles to Snowflake. Other Snowflake objects like views, tasks, etc. cannot be created in a catalog link databases. Cannot create database roles in a catalog link database. Cannot specify default Iceberg version or merge on read on creation. Masking policies and tags supported. Replication and cloning are not. For AWS Glue, table, schema, column names must be lowercase in double quotes. So let us see in a nutshell what is catalog link database. Catalog link database are a way to automatically discover the external tables from Iceberg REST catalogs. So typically, this feature is used when you want to access external Iceberg tables from Snowflake. It is very tedious to create all of those tables in Snowflake catalog. So the easier way to bring in all of those tables and corresponding metadata is via catalog link database feature. In this slide, let us see the catalog link database syntax, both for create and alter. On the right side, we have alter database. On the left side, we have create database. Let us see create database syntax. It says create database and the link database name with linked catalog equals to, with options as catalog equals to. This is a catalog integration that we create beforehand. Allowed namespaces and blocked namespaces. These are optional. Nested namespace handling. If the namespaces in external catalog is nested, there is a way we can bring in the nested namespace as a schema with a flatten nested namespace property by giving a namespace flatten delimiter such as underscore or any special character. Write control. Allowed write operations equals to all, or we can also set to none if you want to do read only. There is a sync frequency property which is by default, if it is not specified, set to 30 seconds. If not, there is also a way we can set the sync interval seconds. You would also have to give external volume. Omit if this is using vendor credentials. Catalog case sensitivity equals to case insensitive, and if it is case sensitive for open catalog. On the alter databases, you have an option to suspend the discovery or resume the discovery of metadata. You also have an option to add and remove allowed namespaces. Also has an option to unset all restrictions, like allow everything, block a namespace, and also change the sync interval and write mode. In this slide, let us go over the syntax for creating an Iceberg table in a catalog link database. Here, I'm using my catalog link database to use database link database and use a schema. But when I'm creating a table, create table simultaneously in Snowflake and in the remote catalog. Create or replace an Iceberg table orders. Target file size is like 64 MB. Partition by transform, day of, order date, and region. For this, AWS Glue uses syntax with a lowercase, create Iceberg table with shipments, shipment ID, order ID, and shipment date. When we do that, it automatically refreshes both the catalogs to have these tables available in both the catalogs. DML writes plus status monitoring. Auto commit only, no multi-statement transformations. DML writes plus status monitoring. Let us say use the database, link database and the schema, insert values into a table and update the values in a table and delete operations. Monitoring catalog link status, you can check from system table called catalog link status and providing the linked database name. Check if it is running, failed or suspended. There is an also option for auto refresh status per table, where we can provide the table name into auto refresh status system table. This way, we should be able to create Iceberg tables in catalog link databases and also do DML operations and monitor the table as well as database sync. All create database parameters at one glance. So on the leftmost side, I have parameter column and corresponding default value and the values that are allowed and the purpose of that. Catalog, the default value is nothing. The values is catalog integration name. We have to create a catalog integration beforehand. And links the DB to a remote REST catalog integration. Allowed namespaces, by default it will allow all the namespaces, but we can also specify only few namespaces by providing the values. The purpose is to whitelist only the namespaces that are synced. Block namespaces, by default it is none, but you can also block namespaces by providing corresponding values in block namespace parameter, and the purpose is to blacklist some of the namespaces that we do not want to sync. Allowed write parameters, allowed write operations. Default is set to all, that means you can read and write, but we also have an option to set to none, which means it is not ready to write into the tables part of the catalog link databases. It is read only for Snowflake. Namespace mode, ignore nested is the default value, but if I want the nested hierarchy of namespaces, I can also say ignore flatten. The values can be ignore or flatten. So how nested namespaces are handled in Snowflake? Namespace flatten delimiter. If I have multiple namespaces in a hierarchy, I can give a character to have the database and corresponding namespace created as a schema in Snowflake. Sync interval seconds, by default it is 30 seconds, but the value can range from 30 to 864, 30 to 86,400 seconds. How often Snowflake polls the remote catalog for changes? External volume is not a default one. It has to be created. Omit if we are using catalog linked vendor credentials. Catalog case sensitivity. Case insensitive for as a default, but for some cases we have to provide case sensitivity. Case sensitive for open catalog, insensitive for glue and unity. So with this, we have covered catalog linked databases, how the catalog linked database is created and a corresponding table, and what are the parameters that catalog linked database supports for refresh interval, sync interval, and values related to allowing namespaces or blocking namespaces, also allowing read write operations. With that, we have covered catalog linked database offering from Snowflake.